Ashat Audio presents The Family Corleone, based on a screenplay by Mario Puzo, written by Ed Falco, read by Bobby Cannavale.
For my father and his family, his 6 brothers and 2 sisters, the Falcos of Ainsley Street, Brooklyn, New York, and for my mother and her family, Catapanos and Espositos from the same neighborhood, all of whom, the children of Italian immigrants, made good and decent lives for themselves and their families and their children and their children's children, among whom are doctors, lawyers, teachers, athletes, artists, and just about everything else. And for our neighborhood's family doctor in the 40s and 50s, Pat Francesi, who came to our houses when we were sick and took care of us, often for free or for whatever little might be offered, with love and every good wish and great respect. Book 1. Mostro. Fall 1933. 1. Giuseppe Mariposa waited at the window with his hands on his hips and his eyes on the Empire State Building. To see the top of the building, the needle-like antenna piercing a pale blue sky, he leaned into the window frame and pressed his face against the glass. He had watched the building go up from the ground, and he liked to tell the boys how he'd been one of the last men to have dinner at the old Waldorf Astoria, that magnificent hotel that once stood where the world's tallest building now loomed. He stepped back from the window and brushed dust from his suit jacket. Below him, on the street, a big man in work clothes sat atop a junk cart traveling lazily toward the corner. He carried a black derby riding on his knee as he jangled his set of worn leather reins over the flank of his swayback horse. Giuseppe watched the wagon roll by. When it turned the corner, he took his hat from the window ledge, held it to his heart, and looked at his reflection in a pane of glass. His hair was white now, but still thick and full, and he brushed it back with the palm of his hand. He adjusted the knot and straightened his tie where it had bunched up slightly as it disappeared into his vest. In a shadowy corner of the empty apartment behind him, Jake LeConte tried to speak, but all Giuseppe heard was a guttural mumbling. When he turned around, Tomasino came through the apartment door and lumbered into the room carrying a brown paper bag. His hair was unkempt as always, though Giuseppe had told him 100 times to keep it combed, and he needed a shave as always. Everything about Tomasino was messy. Giuseppe fixed him with a look of contempt that Tomasino, as usual, didn't notice. His tie was loose, his shirt collar unbuttoned, and he had blood on his wrinkled jacket. Tufts of...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?